Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on Space Coach, I'm going to be reviewing this Time After Time by Karl Alexander. And there was the film in the late 1970s, and there was a TV show about 5 years ago as well, which I didn't know anything about. So basically, H.G. Wells invents a time machine. And he's showing it off to all of his friends, or he's going to show it off to all of his friends, when the police turn up at his house. Because basically, one of those friends, Leslie John Stevenson, is Jack the Ripper, and he's just murdered another prostitute in the East End, and he's been tracked to H.G. Wells's place. But he escapes in the time machine into the future. And because the machine's got like a kind of like key that will mean it returns to its previous location unless you activate or whatever, Leslie John Stevenson goes into the future, the machine comes back to the past, and so H.G. Wells has got to follow him and find him. And so he goes into the future, and it's San Francisco in 1979, and it's a museum that he arrives at about H.G. Wells and his life and all of his achievements. Now, he doesn't look too much into it because obviously predetermination, free will, agency, all that sort of stuff. But I mean, he's an odd fish in the future. He's got nothing really, so he has to exchange his English banknotes, the 19th century banknotes, for some American money at like an antique shop, and then he's got to try and track down Leslie John Stevenson. So actually, no, sorry, he exchanges them for gold, and then he takes the gold to the Bank of England, which is just a bank branch in San Francisco, where he meets Amy Robbins, who he falls in love with in due course. So Leslie John Stevenson, he is absolutely delighted with the future because he can do whatever he wants. No one knows him, no fingerprints or anything like that. He can just go around killing whoever he wants because late 70s San Francisco, American general, crime was rampant and nobody really cared about the lower classes, much like in Victorian England. So he's having a high old time killing prostitutes and stuff. But him and H.G. Wells come across each other, big confrontation, but Stevenson escapes. Gets knocked over, and Wells thinks he's been killed, but he hasn't been. But now Stevenson wants to come after Wells and kill the lady, Amy. And he has to convince her that he's from the future, from the past rather, and trying to stop these murders from happening. And he takes her 3 days into the future, and they find a newspaper that says she has been killed, as has another lady, from the point in which they had gone. So they're trying to prevent the murder, not only of Amy, but also of the other woman. But they can't. They're trying to drive to the place where the paper says the murder happened to stop it, and they get a tyre blowout, So it's like, do things happen anyway? Can you actually stop the future from happening? And so Wells gets arrested for the murders because he's trying to tell the police what's going on. But of course they wouldn't believe him because it's complete nonsense. But in the meantime, Stevenson kidnaps Amy. He doesn't want to kill her immediately. He wants to toy with her and toy with Wells. And he kills another woman, someone who Amy had invited round for dinner. And that is the body that the police find that they thought was Amy. So he chases after Stevenson back to the museum where the machine is, where he's going to go forward into the year 2000, where he'll have even more fun and everything. Big confrontation. Wells manages to trick him. Stevenson gets thrown basically into the maelstrom of time and is destroyed. Great stuff. Absolutely, really enjoyed this book. The film was really good as well. It had Malcolm McDowell as H.G. Wells, Mary Steenburgen as Amy, and David Warner as Leslie John Stevenson. It's funny because Mary Steenburgen, she basically plays that same sort of role in Back to the Future Part 3, except apart from being the woman from the future going back to the past, she's a woman from the past going to the future. So it was quite interesting. 20, however many years apart it was, that she played the same sort of role. But yes, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Might check out the TV show at some point. Apparently he wrote a sequel called Jacqueline the Ripper. But he passed away in 2015, unfortunately. But yes, really good. Great fun. H.G. Wells and his time machine. Really good stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I recommend it to you. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment suggestion for what topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.